My names are Rose Twine, team leader, EcoStove, the manufacturers of EcoStoves, the companies that utilizes volcanic rocks and solar to cook.
I'm Maureen. I work with EcoStove as a customer relationship.
The EcoStove was innovated in 2011. That was the first on the continent, a product that was intended to reduce on the rate of deforestation. And of course, to do that was to invent a technology that was going to utilize volcanic rocks to cook. The rocks are freely available, and so it was replacing the overdependence on firewood and charcoal. So the EcoStove innovation came to reduce on tree cutting, and for us to be able to use the volcanic rocks to cook, the technology needed to be embedded with some science in it. And namely, this science was a blower and a heat regulator. So the technology totally depends on volcanic rocks to cook as the substitute to charcoal and firewood, as well as the efficiency is created using the blower and the heat regulator. And of course, the solar enables it to operate or pump the air into the stones, making it more efficient.
EcoStove uses volcanic rocks to cook, as she has just mentioned, and then it has an element of charcoal dust for it to help the rocks picks up. But we have other fuels that EcoStove use, like briquettes and pellets. But rocks are more efficient than these ones, but they're just supplements.
Yeah, maybe to add on that is that the primary fuel will be the volcanic rocks, and that's what makes us unique. And the charcoal dust is just to enable the rocks, because you cannot set a match on a rock. You need like the secondary fuel, and these fuel are the weak particles. Either you could use charcoal dust, which is readily available and free, unless somebody has to clean it and give it to you. A lot of our clients have been picking them up from drainage. People throw them out because you can't use them in ordinary stoves. But also, you could use, right now we're in the process of making pellets. And these pellets are from biomass, are from post-harvest waste. Could be maize, could be, so we're trying to get into this so that we are no longer depending so much on charcoal dust, which is also coming from the charcoal burning. So if they burn charcoal, then where are we at? So we're already looking about 10 years ahead, what's going to happen, and we're coming up with a solution in the last 1-2 years. We've been sampling the pellets that we're producing so that the customers pilot, test it and give us feedback on how efficient, how useful they are. But also, of course, pellets has a cost. A kilo pellets would be going, at the moment we're giving them our samples for free, but a kilo may end up about 800 to 1,000 to light the rocks. So since at the moment we are still having the residues of wasted charcoal dust, this is something that anyone can pick up and use. Yeah, so the primary fuel will be 90% rocks, and then the 10% will be the other lighting materials, which will be either pellets or charcoal dust.
For charcoal dust, currently people are still using charcoal, yes, but the charcoal dust are residues. They just throw them away, most of them. And then for the pellets, we are also into the process of manufacturing more so that they can access it in case charcoal dust, let's say, because soon they are burning charcoal completely where we cannot access this. But we already have the solution where we'll be manufacturing pellets, as she has just said, because we are getting those wastes like coffee husks and peanuts, so to be used to make those pellets. So I think by the time we start distributing those pellets, the price will be fair for us, but currently charcoal dust is available.
Yeah, but also every customer that has been buying from us, we recommend a few suppliers. We have a few guys that have been supplying all our customers. Reason, we have a few bodabodas we used to use to deliver the stoves, and then they realized there was a gap in the market. So part of the things that we have done and we are proud of is that people have increased income through the EcoStove fraternity, in a sense that the same people we used to work with to deliver stoves are the ones now filtering or cleaning the available charcoal dust, and they are making it by the sack and selling it to customers. So it's a phone call. You want 10 bags, one or two of our suppliers that supply to us and to all our customers will be available to supply at as little as between 25 and 30,000, and they cleaned up, like they take out all the grass, all the residues that will create smoke. So that is how efficient the service would be, but also availability of the charcoal dust is not an issue, because these young men used to only depend on border riding. Now they have a steady source of income whereby they just simply filter and clean up the charcoal dust that is thrown in the KCCA compost areas, and they clean it up and bag it up. All the markets have these. And so this is, you simply make up a phone call, and all our customers are being given these numbers to be able to call them and reach out. So if the supplier A doesn't have, they call supplier B, and supplier B will end up supplying. And one of the things we tell the clients is, since you're paying maybe 3,000 or 5,000 delivery, why not buy 1 or 2 bags and stock them? Remember, a bag will last a minimum 2 months or 3 months. It's just a 10%. But just so the same few people, 1 or 2 people who are supplying, are not overwhelmed with the orders, I would advise every customer, kindly order maybe 2 bags at one point, so that you stock for another 5 months or 6 months, because depending on how you use it, a good sack should last you 3 months.
Yes. Then and for those who can access the charcoal vendors, also they can show them the size of charcoal dust they want, instead, if they can't get the number for those guys, so they can get that charcoal dust for themselves from the people who sells charcoal.
Yes, we've had charcoal vendors that actually are now coming and asking us, can we stock your stoves on our stores? Because we have people coming to us and saying they are buying charcoal. They're asking us to sieve these charcoal dust from since they are no longer buying our charcoal, can we also stock these products here? And which is it's a good move, but we're still studying it to see how viable it will be. But yes, they're already available. Charcoal dust is easy to access, but in the future we're hoping to be able to promote more of the pellets as the main option of lighting our stoves.
First of all, you buy a stove, you're given rocks to use for 2 years. Yeah? So compared to a charcoal, where charcoal you buy even like 3,000, charcoal cannot cook beans, first of all. So me, I'm giving you my stones or the rocks you're going to use for 2 years. At least it's 50 to 75% that you're saving.
You see, the technology is done in a way that once you're done cooking, you switch off and the stones will cool down, use them the next day. Now that is what gives you that saving part. The saving in a sense that 90% of the rocks you use today is the same 90% you're going to use tomorrow. At least for the next 6 months, the same rocks that are in the stove will be there. So they start to shrink the more you use them. So the 10% is what you're using to light, and that is the only cost. And that's why we pride in saying that the EcoStove has very minimal or negligible running cost compared to ordinary charcoal stove, because you're using rocks which are reusable, and then the other residue you need to light the rocks is charcoal dust, which is a 10%. So that is how cost effective it is. I just say that when you buy the EcoStove, it will come complete with this fuel, a 2-year reusable fuel. Maybe we shall do the maths where how much does a family spend in a month versus compared to how much you're spending using them. So I like to do the numbers. The numbers are the following. For example, a bag of charcoal today goes between 80,000 to 120, depending where you're buying it. Now that will last a maximum maybe 3 weeks. And if I give you a stove with the rocks which are reusable up to 2 years, how much do you think it would cost? So I'll do the numbers for you. If you get a 20,000 charcoal stove, add on 100,000, let's say average between 80 and 120, 100,000 of a bag every 1 month, that's already 1.2. A bag of a year it will cost you to cook a meal with a 20,000 stove. Yes, so with that, if I give you a stove, an eco stove with a 2-year reusable rocks, do you want to know the price? I'll give you the answer. The stove with the rocks for 2 years, and it has an inbuilt blower for efficiency. It has a heat regulator for managing how fast you want to cook or how slow you want to cook. All that, we start from as little as 450. So you have a stove, you have fuel for 2 years, and you have the efficiency that comes with a blower that is inbuilt, and the heat regulator, the way the gas cooker and electricity cooker looks like. So these are the benefits that you get for as little as 450. I've gone further to break it down for everybody. I'm like, if you get that money, divide it the 12 month, you're using as low as 550 shillings a day, which you cannot do with charcoal, which you cannot do with gas, which you cannot do with firewood. So with an eco stove, it's very cheap. I would cost it on a daily, because charcoal today is being sold per day for the low income person. Not everybody has the luxury of buying a sack or two and store because of where it comes from. So maybe the vendors are able to give you a daily refill of the charcoal. So daily charcoal today is between 3,000 to 5,000 to cook ordinary Ugandan meals, which is dry beans, which is posho, which is matoka, gabobeza. So with that, you're able to compute it 5,000 times 165 days a year. And then you compute 550 times 165 days a year. So you do the numbers, you see how cheap it is to operate an eco stove or to own. People look at a 20,000 stove being very cheap, but they don't look at the fact that in the long run, the cost of running that stove is 10 times over. Yet, if I give you a stove that has a 450 upfront payment, you're going to be only spending 550. So just to answer your question, a stove, an eco stove, a single stand. Mind you, we make them in various sizes. We have a single stand, we have a double stand, we have a triple stand. We do institutional ones, we do the commercial ones that they use in markets such as Wandegea, Chitoro Market. We built those in Wandegea in 2013, Chitoro Market, Rugazi Market, all these markets, Tororo Market, Arua Market. These are communal, or I call them commercial eco stoves, because it helps women generate income. Then we have the institutional for schools, the big ones. So the prices varies from how many heads you've taken and what accessories come with it. But what must come with every eco stove is 2-year reusable rocks, it's a blower to increase efficiency, and it's a control for the air. This is a heat regulator. So that is what you get in the 450.
Everyone can access eco stove. It's affordable 100%. And then all customers, be it the institutions, be it the schools, restaurants, hotels, and even individuals, all stoves are affordable for them. We have a payment plan for all of them. So when we are dealing with institutions or restaurants, those big institutions, we have a payment plan for them where we do. We have seen what you want. You have maybe quoted for you. You know now how much you're going to pay. So a payment plan is you pay 50% before us starting work, so we can access the materials for the job to be done. We do the job. And then the 50% on handover when everything is done and you're ready to use it. Yeah? And then we have a payment plan also for, let's say, groups of people, individuals, where you, I'll give you an example. Let's say like a school, let's say like a hospital like that one, big or a bit small. You can be a group of people like these Chibina women, any group of more than 5 people. We have also their payment plan where you can take the products, everyone the size you want, yeah? And then you pay a certain percentage. You say if you pay 50% for the product you're taking, and then the 50% is paid in 3 months' time. So let's say you've taken an eco stove, a single stove at 450. With your 2 years reusable rocks, you have the blower on it, you have the regulator, you have the adapter, you have all that is supposed to go with at 450. So you pay 200,000, yeah, a down payment, and then the 250 is divided, is split into 3. That is 3 months. So I think that is fair for whoever think they can not even think. Is a must, everyone must own. Yeah, everyone must own an eco stove. At least you save even that 1,000 that is supposed to do something else tomorrow. So that's how best we've made it, so that it is accessible and affordable for everyone to have it.